Hello and welcome to my channel Crafting with me, Deannie Jones, and welcome to Lover's Lane. Today's playlist is hosted by my friends Caroline's daughter Monica of Up All Night DIY and Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling. Today we're going to run down memory lane as we go down Lover's Lane. But along with all of these wonderful hostesses, please visit their channels and all the channels that are on this playlist. Now, let's take a ride down memory lane and Lover's Lane. For this next project, I used this Dollar Tree wreath form, the heart wreath form from Dollar Tree, and I actually cut it apart into 3 different sections. So this is the larger heart that's on the outside, and all I did was cover it with twine so it had something to attach to. Now, I just ripped a bunch of fabric and created all of these little rags and just tied them one by one. And here is the completed wreath, and all I'm going to do is add the embellishments. Now you can see I added some lace of different colors, I added some plain burlap and different fabrics that more or less had the same coloring as the fabric that I used as the primary one. Now I could have done this all white, all pink, whatever you choose. Now I added the bow, and it's just grosgrain ribbon. And I just made a simple bow because I knew I wanted to add some flowers. So filling in for those same colors that you see in that fabric. There's some pinks, there are some deep reds, and some blues. So these are the flowers that I'm going to be adding to this little bow to make it complete. Now, obviously, this will have to be a wreath that you use on your inside of your house. You couldn't use this on your front door, maybe on the inside of your front door, just because it's not weatherproof, obviously. But this is just darling, especially for your bedroom door or just for a wall decor or even for your bathroom. This will look adorable if you match it to the rest of the decor in your bathroom. So I hope you try this out for yourselves. Christmas clearance. So a set of these ceramic hearts came out to 19 cents. So you better believe that you're going to see several of these used in the coming weeks. Of course, here I am using that paint once again, that creamy yellow paint. And I mean, look at how much I've used and still have so much of it. So when I have a lot of big projects, I love to use this mist tinted paints from Home Depot. And once again, to add what? Depth. Yes, depth. I'm adding some of this darker mustardy yellow color just to give it a little more life. And one I cross-hatched it or dry brushed it onto the whole heart, and the other one I'm just using on the ends. Now, for one of them, it didn't make any sense because I'm just going to decoupage. So I have this wonderful decoupage from Tim Holtz, and I thought this matched that painting that I had done earlier. I thought it was perfect. It was the same exact coloring of the transfer. It almost looked like a miniature of that transfer. So again, you know me, I like to do vignettes and, do like coordinated items. I don't know if you like it or not, but that's what I do. And I wanted to bring a little bit of, Valentine's Day into this. So here's my Valentine's Day, I guess, inclusion to this project. And I love decoupaging. Decoupaging is my favorite thing because it's pretty much foolproof. One of the things that I have learned is how different people use it. Sometimes they put the Mod Podge onto the paper, let it dry, then they use an iron to heat it up. Now what I'm using is some wax paper and squeegeeing it, and that seems to eliminate a lot of the wrinkles. I wish I could squeegee my face. Mod Podge. Figure a way how I can get rid of wrinkles by using, no, you can't use Mod Podge on your face. People don't do that. But gosh, don't I wish, right? Anyway, I digress, but that's common. Here I am using one of those sandpaper blocks and readjusting the camera very, very delicately there. Using one of those sandpaper blocks to take off the excess decoupage paper, and it works like a dream. I didn't want to set it on fire. That's my favorite method, but I didn't want to set it on fire because, well, I just didn't think it was necessary. For For this next little heart, I'm going to use, again, one of these IOD transfers. It wasn't part of the toile transfer, it was part of another transfer. And yeah, I thought it was just perfect. It fit in perfect with the heart, and I thought it coordinated well with the toile. So once again, if you haven't used a transfer, it's super easy. All you have to do is squeegee, 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 squeegee. That is called a squeegee, right? I mean, I have the roller squeegee. I should have used the roller squeegee too, but I like the squeegee squeegee like this. And this is also what I use for Cricut. And I hope you are excited that I'm starting to use my Cricut machines more. I got a larger Cricut. I have the Cricut Joy, and I'm using them for more projects. So my next projects will include some Cricut usage. Now I decided to make a tassel of my own. Here are some leftover, Michael's clearance. These are clearance Christmas ribbons from Michael's that I had gotten last year, and I think I got those in one of those Michael's boxes. We're all waiting for those grab boxes. I know. So all I'm doing is, lassoing them all together, all the ribbons together, and then I'm just going to cut them at the end like I did, as you can see there. And I created basically a tassel. I tied off a little bit of the top, and that's it. That's all I had to do. And now I'm just going to glue it to the bottom of that heart. And I think it came out really sweet. The other one I left plain. I decided just to make one very frilly and cutesy woosy, and the other one I kept it a little more somber. But I think they're both lovely. And again, for Valentine's Day, it doesn't always have to be hot pink and red. It could be, subdued if you like more subdued tones for your Valentine's Day. I don't particularly enjoy Valentine's Day that much, but I do love the idea of romance and adding a bit of romance to your life through your decor. If nothing else, at least your decorations and your home seems romantic. And as long as you enjoy your home, that's the most important thing. And there I am. I'm just tying off the little, top ribbon. And here is the final reveal of all of these projects. I hope you like them. Doing is using one of the covers from one of those booklets of the oh my goodness, I can't speak, the scrapbook paper pads. Yeah, I'm using the covers of the scrapbook paper pads just to make this paper a little more durable, and so they'll stand up and I can use them easier in my projects. And so I decided to create a cute little, I just wanted to make a little banner, and I thought these were so adorable. Of course, I fell in love with the little cat. There's two cats there, the little cat that looks like Luna and the other little cat that, well, I'm going to say it looks like Guru, even though it's a little more of a gray cat instead of a black cat. But the other one is definitely a little Luna cat. They haven't appeared yet. Where can my kitty cats be? They'll be here. Believe me, they will. So all I did was use Mod Podge and create these cute little Valentines. Again, I think this is such a sweet and darling project, and especially with these little vintage Valentines. They're so adorable, so cute. You remember when you used to buy like Valentines by the dozens and give them out to your friends? That's pretty much what I'm doing here, is just putting together a little banner with all these little vintage Valentines. And there's the one that looks like my little Luna. I fell in love with this picture. I thought it was just so, so cute. So, of course, I had to include her in our banner. Now, of course, I had to add just a little bit of sparkle. So first I started with this little, oh, and there's Luna. Hello, Luna. Anyway, I added these little raindrops to this cute little red umbrella Valentine. Of course, you can't see what I'm doing because Luna's little cute face is in the way. But all I'm doing is just dotting with a little bit of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to use some of that crystal, very fine glitter and just put a little bit of glitter on that card. I went ahead and added a little touch of glitter onto all of my little Valentines. Now I'm using that cute little, oh goodness, I always call them dingleberries. I know they're not dingleberries, but you know what I mean. That little fringe with the things on the pom-poms. That's it, the pom-pom fringe. You know, I'll forever call them dingleberries. Anyway, I don't digress here. Anyway, I just added my little Valentines with a little bit of ribbon, and these are little polka dotted ribbons because I just thought they were so vintagey and cute. And just, adds a little bit of Valentine's Day decor to your home and make it easy for yourself. And of course, your kids will have fun with this too. And if you create this every year, you can use your kids' Valentines from year to year. If they give you Valentines, don't forget to give your mom Valentines, kiddos. They need a little bit of love too. So if you collect the Valentine's Days cards from your kids, this is a perfect way to celebrate them on Valentine's Day. And what I love about this is that you can customize it any way you want, make it as long as you want, as short as you want, and it's just so much fun. I hope you create one of these cute little banners for your home this Valentine's Day. Next, let's make a wreath. I thought this was the easiest way to make a wreath. I'm using this burlap ribbon that I got from, I believe it was Michael's and one of those clearance boxes. And there are my babies, Luna and Kuru. Luna means moon in Spanish, and Kuru means darkness or shadow in Japanese. So once I covered the whole wire form from the Dollar Tree with the burlap ribbon, all I'm doing is adding one of these little doilies. I had a bunch of these doilies from years past, and I thought, oh my gosh, this looks so retro. If you remember at all working with doilies during, oh goodness, there's a kiss from Luna just for you. And of course I had to stop and restart again, and I forgot to restart. I forgot to hit the record button as I was adding all of these cards to the actual wreath, because I had to stop it because it was put out of focus thanks to Luna. But all I'm doing here is creating little bunches of ribbons just to add a little bit more of embellishment to this wreath. And I thought this was just darling. And then at the end I just had a big old, I just made like a raggedy wreath at the top, a bow. I didn't actually make a bow because I didn't want to take away from the actual invitations or from the actual Valentines. Not invitations. What is wrong with me today? And here I am just finishing up that cute little heart wreath. And I just thought it was so adorable, so retro, and so perfect for Valentine's Day. I hope you try this out yourself. So these were parts of my leftover stash from last year's Valentine's. I still had one of those little grapevine wreathy hearts in my stash that I'm cleaning out. And then I had this leftover heart where I had used the backing of it for another craft, and now I'm using the outside frame of that little house, and I thought I would put something together. And here is my little Kuru helping me out, as always, my little supervisor. And again, I apologize for the obstruction of the view, but basically all I'm doing is painting it a very light pink and getting some cuddles, some scratches. I love that. And here I'm using this beautiful paper that I had, again, in my stash. And Kuru is very observant because there was a little bird in the middle. And I guess she liked the design of the little bird in the middle of this piece of paper. And now I'm just going to cut it out to fit the shape of the house. Now you know how much I love birds, so of course I had to use this paper. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. And again, this came from a package of paper that I had in my stash. I'm not sure if you can find it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Amazon, but I'm sure you can find something similar. Next, I decided to just do a little bit of a whitewash on the grapevine wreath because I just thought it was too dark. And then all I did was tie some thick twine around it and hang it, and that is pretty much it. I did add some embellishments by adding a few little branches of some small flowers just to add a little bit more nature, but I just love the way this turned out. Maybe I should have added a bow or some other stuff, but I kept this one nice and simple, and I think it's just darling. Decoupaged a mailbox last week, but this is different. It's a mini mailbox, and I found it in my stash, and I might as well use it. And yes, I realize it has Valentine's Day stuff splattered all over it, but I don't know, it's kind of like it doesn't fit my decor. It's kind of like too much, and yeah, so I just covered it in some, what is this called? What is this called, people? You know what it's called. Just answer down below. Oh goodness, what is this called? It's scrapbook paper. That's what it is. Scrapbook paper. Yeah, this is from my scrapbook paper that my friend Jane always brings to me and then asks me for Valentine's Day paper
like within the same week she brought it to me. I don't get that. But anyway, here I am just adding some trim to my little mailbox. And yes, I'm going to point out my nails. They look lovely. I admit it. And it's thanks to Nail Addict, a fully vegan nail gel that I'm using. And this is called Less is More. That's the color. It's this beautiful baby pink. But let me tell you, it puts up with the wear and tear that I put my nails and my hands through, especially in crafting. It's amazing. Paint does not stick to it like it usually does. So here, all I'm doing is adding some trim of some flowers and some greenery because I just love to overdo it. That's why I like shabby chic because it's a little overdone. I didn't like, farmhouse because it was like so stark. It was so minimalistic. If I'm anything, I'm a maximalist. It's like I got stuff everywhere. So I'd love to add a little bit more of embellishments and paint things gold and add some pearls. And that's why I like shabby chic. So although my house is more shabby than chic, but this is really chic. I love this. I think it's adorable. But we're not going to end there. Of course not. You can't just have an empty mailbox. No, you got to have some notes. So I found this little note that said, "Hello, gorgeous." And I always love that, from Barbara Streisand when she would say, "Hello, gorgeous." Love that. So here I have some dried flowers that I had hanging around the house. Just happened to find them. And I think they're perfect for this little mailbox and this little note. So this is for all of you, saying to you, hello, gorgeous, to you too. Hope you have a great day.
Thanks again to my lovely friends, Caroline's Daughter, Up All Night DIY, and Shabby Meets Bling. Please remember to visit their channel and all of the channels that are a part of this playlist. Thanks again for stopping by, and if you enjoyed this, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure. I'll see you again very soon. So let's get started with some vintage Valentine.